Greetings and humble salutations. I am Destiny Lewis, a second year information technology scholar from Chicago, Illinois. Are you the type before you try something new that likes to practice? If yes, then renting is for you. Renting is better than home ownership for several reasons. For starters, the landlords are responsible for repairs. It is more flexible, it is usually cheaper upfront and in the long run. You don't have to worry about property depreciation, and it is easier to relocate if you get a better job opportunity or if you're moving to a new place and you're not sure if you're going to stay in that new city or state. That's also the perfect way to find that situation, by renting. If you buy a home and you're in that type of situation, then you're stuck with that home. When you're trying to relocate, it's going to be 10 times harder to sell it. Whereas renting, you have your lease. Once your lease is up, you can leave. Even if you're in a rush and you're getting a new job, sometimes the job would even pay for you to get out of your lease early to relocate if they're requiring you to relocate to a new city or state. Landlords do way more than people realize. For example, in Chicago, they pay bills for the tenants, like the heat bill, the city's Chicago disposal fee, and water bills. Many don't realize the financial burden that comes with home ownership. Whereas if you owned your own home, you are responsible for all of those extra bills on top of what you already have to pay. Like your light bill, you're going to have to pay regardless. You also have to pay those other things. And you are responsible for if something breaks in your own home. You have to pay to replace that. For example, my uncle, he had a hot water boiler in his house. Every house needs a hot water boiler. It broke one day. That cost $7,000 to $10,000 for a decent hot water boiler. Most people don't have that laying around to replace in their house. Not only is that a huge chunk of thousands of dollars you're putting into that house that you're not guaranteed to get back when you're selling your house, it's also not that common that you're going to have that laying around and you're the person responsible for it. It's a requirement, so you're going to be in a tight nick in a blink of an eye to replace the hot water boiler. Whereas if you're renting, you wouldn't have that problem. The landlord is responsible for replacing that in a timely manner. And chances are they probably have savings to replace that immediately. Same thing applies. Imagine you move to a new city. You buy a home. After 12 months, you realize you hate living there. You can't move back to your original city. You're stuck there trying to sell a home. Renting a home is better than home ownership because you don't have to deal with the struggle of trying to relocate if you need to sell your home. Once your lease is up, you can leave and you can pay out of the lease. This is especially ideal for college students. Once we get out of college, you might not know where you want to live. I know me personally, I don't know if I want to stay in Florida. I might go back to Chicago. I might go to California, somewhere I always want to live, or Texas, also another place I always want to live. I have no idea, but I would not go anywhere and buy a home because I don't know if I want to stay there. I could stay there for a year and sign a lease and decide it perfectly. If I want to buy a house, it's the perfect practice round to see if that's where I want to stay or if I'm even ready to prepare myself for the financial burden that comes with it, because renting is much cheaper than house ownership. As you know, from the last example, just as a GP example. People don't realize the cost of home ownership is way more costly than anticipated upfront and long term. In conclusion, renting a home is better than home ownership for several reasons. When you buy a home, you're tied down to that place and all its problems. A lot of time, you lose way more money than you put into the house upfront and over the years. A house can hold you back from opportunity if a new job opens up, and you usually can't sell it right away. This just goes to show why renting is more flexible and ideal, especially for first-time users, but even after. If you're living in a new city, if you just need somewhere to adjust, renting would also be the option. Home ownership takes way more responsibility than people realize, and it is crucial that we get that practice round in by renting before home ownership. Have a great day.